Okay. Hi, Corey Crowder.
Hi, what's up?
How's it going?
It's going great.
Well, I'm so excited to be here with you today.
I'm excited to be here.
And a lot of people, it's really exciting too because you're like my husband Michael's doppelganger and brother from another mother.
Yep, he's one of my best buds ever.
And
Love
y'all
that
match.
dude. We
and
match.
the way you look.
We match. He's the long-haired rock star version of me.
And
Much skinnier version too.
Oh, whatever. Y'all are both ripped.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shredded. Shredded. I got that dad bod.
Oh my God.
They're in right now.
What is the dad bod exactly?
It's like, do you really want to know?
Yeah.
It's like, 15, 20 pounds of excess
Lovin'?
little loving, maybe a little man boob, maybe a little flat, tie around the waist.
Well, you have more people to love.
I do. Hey, there's a lot of me to love.
Well, and you have to love your wife,
Yeah.
your son, and you have a new baby coming
So that's
any
good,
day.
but so I just need more of me to give there.
Yeah, that's why that makes sense.
Yeah.
The dad bod
That
diet.
Sonic I had this morning, that was just to give love.
It's all you could do. Sometimes it's the only option.
Yeah, it was it. That was all I had. It was Urban Juicer down the road, but Sonic was like, nah, Urban Juicer looks like I'll be just stressed out the rest of the day.
Well, and then it might give you like the runs or something because of that vegetable juice.
Sonic definitely doesn't give you the runs, right?
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with a few questions.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
If your life were a song, what would the title be? Because you're a hit songwriter, so that's only fitting.
My life for a song. It would be the long and bumpy road.
Why do you say that?
It's been a long and bumpy road, but awesome. It's at least been scenic.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, the 2-minute version is, I started out playing bars.
Where are you from?
I'm from Georgia.
Okay.
Small town, Loganville. Started out playing bars.
Yep.
And then just like everybody.
Yeah.
And then that turned into like writing I wrote a bunch of TV stuff. I had a bunch of TV songs on TV shows.
Okay, tell that story because that's really interesting, random, and like it doesn't happen to everyone.
Right. So, I mean, I was just a kid who thought I was just going to play bars for fun. And then I had music on MySpace, if you remember MySpace.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I'm like dating myself now. But
we're old.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, the
It
fact that
sucks.
MySpace is like no young kids even know what that is.
I know. Well, MP3.com was my first. Nobody even remembers that.
I don't even know what that is.
So, yeah. So
And we're the same age. How old are you? 30?
I turned 33 this year.
Me too.
Wow. All right.
We're twins.
So the guy from Buena Murray, which does like Real World, Road Rules,
Okay.
the Kardashians, all that stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, he calls me and he's like, "You want to be a cast member on Real World? We're casting like a musician aspiring to do this." And I just knew what they were going to do to me. They would put me on the show and they'd get me drunk and they'd put like a bunch of beautiful women around me and make me look like the jerk that.
And that's just not your personality.
No, it couldn't be any less of personality. So I was like, man, I'm not going to fulfill the role you want me to fill. So how about you just use my music? And I was joking, really, kind of.
And how old were you at this point?
Like 19.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I just recorded stuff in my room, just on acoustic. And he was like, okay, I'd love to do that. And I swear from that point on, they just started using the crap out of it.
So you recorded all this music and it went straight into like Real World episodes. Oh wait, some of the things you had: Biggest Loser, MTV's Real World, Bad Girls, One Tree Hill. Yeah, that's crazy. And TV placements that's like some serious dough.
For a kid, it was.
Yeah.
And
it's instant.
It is instant, and
because people don't realize, like, when you get a single or when you write a song and it gets on an album of an artist, it might take years to release, and then you might not even ever get a single or much money.
Yeah, you might not get money at all, especially because if you have to recoup from a publishing deal or something.
Oh, yeah.
I had no publishing. I didn't even know what publishing was.
So you're like rolling in dough at 19.
Yeah. Well, ish. I was paying my bills, but. So it did kind of give me this like, oh my God, I could do music for a living.
Yeah.
And so I ended up signing an independent record deal, and then that didn't go so well. And then
what happened?
It was kind of a Christian based thing, but I really wasn't a Christian artist.
Wait, wasn't your first band called Farewell to Arms?
It was.
That's a serious name.
I was really into Dashboard Confessional, and I wanted to be him so bad. So I was like, I'll just name myself something like a band.
Yeah,
so I called myself A Farewell to Arms. It worked. I mean, for that scene of music, it worked.
Was that your first record deal, that band?
No, I ended up going by Corey Crowder on the record deal. But I wasn't a Christian artist, and they were pushing me as one. It didn't work. I had no business being in that genre. But anyway, it kind of taught me a few lessons, and ended up getting a developmental deal with Sony.
Okay.
That brought me back to Nashville. And
back to Nashville.
I lived in Nashville for like 8 months.
When all the
Christian stuff was going on. And it was, I didn't know anybody. It was kind of depressing being here when you don't know anybody.
And you're so young.
Young and just like broke because it's so expensive here.
Yeah.
Just so broke. Golly. I mean, me and Lainey used to eat, our like really nice meal was going to Outback and eating French onion soup and free bread. That was our really nice dinner.
How awesome and sweet is that, though?
Oh, it was so bad.
Aren't you glad you had the hungry years, though?
Yes, no doubt.
Because it makes you who you are.
It does. I'm very thankful for them.
Okay.
We're spoiled now, but I had a developmental deal that introduced me to every writer in town that I had ever wanted to write with.
And it's such a huge writing community here.
It is. And the biggest part for me was just getting to know the people.
Yeah.
And I signed a publishing deal with Universal, and I just got introduced to a lot. And it was like, for me, it was like songwriting camp. Even though I had written, 3 like independent albums for myself, I didn't really know how to write a song. I just was just winging it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, why did you start writing songs when you were a kid?
I don't know. I really don't. I had no big awesome story about that. You
just started doing it and liked it.
Yeah, I played guitar. I took lessons as a kid. I didn't even know I could sing good. Like nobody in my family is musical, so I had no idea. And I started I think our youth group at church needed somebody to play guitar, and they were like, "Do you sing at all?" And I was like, "I don't think I sing good." And then I sang, and they were all like, "Man, you sing really good."
Yeah, you have a great voice, like one of the best.
Well, at the time, I didn't know. I mean, when you've never been told you're good, you just think you're just.
And you're not from like a musical community.
Yeah, I didn't have anybody that taught me. I didn't know. But so I started just writing songs just for fun, I guess.
And then the real world happened, and then the development deal. Well, then the first record deal, and then the Sony.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not to over spiritualize it, but I definitely think it was one of those things that God had to kind of create a few of those things for me to just, or else I would have never believed it. You know what I mean?
Giving you those opportunities that were kind of just pulled you in.
They were undeserved, really, as far as I didn't work for them early on. It was just more, I think God's way of being like, hey,
here's your road.
This is where you're going.
Hello, we're in an interview. You can come join. Oh,
Scott Ponce, everybody.
This. Come on, say hi. No, you got to talk in the microphone. This is Corey's.
You got to now.
Come say hi.
You have to now.
Tell us one enlightening thing. This is Corey's publisher. No, you have to. You have to here, right now.
He's so shy.
You're on. You got to say something.
I love how shy he is.
Right now. You have 10 seconds. Come on. Hurry.
This is not my shining moment.
This is not Scott. Scott has prouder moments than this.
I'm behind the scenes, not in front of the camera.
That's his line. He's behind the scenes. This is the man making it happen.
Have a wonderful interview.
So we're at Corey's publishing company right now, and that was his publisher that popped in. Publishing companies are so fun.
They are.
There's always cool people around the building. Yeah. Songwriters are coming in.
This place is a family too, because kind of to fast forward a little bit, when my deal at Universal ended, we
haven't gotten there. Sony first.
Sony, I didn't. My record deal didn't happen. I had a developmental deal
at Sony.
It just never fully developed into something. I delivered sides and.
Well, and maybe you were saying, it happened so young, you weren't quite fully ready for it because you said, you were talking about.
Yeah.
It was spiritual. God had given you these things you weren't maybe deserving of yet.
Right.
To let you know this was your path.
Yeah, and
but you were deserving of it because he gave you the talent for it.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what I mean by that. I mean,
right.
There's people that just grind, and when I think I associated writing and production and artists all in this same hat. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize that there was a career to be had for me.
Yeah.
In just writing and producing. I never considered that. I always thought man, I have to be an artist or else nothing.
Yeah.
And then once I kind of started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, I randomly got, right after I kind of lost my Sony deal, I was still at Universal writing. And and Kenny Rogers randomly wanted to record a song of mine. And so I
Okay.
think that was like the first moment where I was like, oh crap, like I could be a writer,
Yeah.
like only, like
Yeah.
this is great.
And that's kind of what spoke to your heart the most, right?
Yeah, because I mean, I played shows. I mean, from the time I was 18 to 27 when I stopped being an artist, and I played lots of dates. Like I didn't do this whole weekend gig thing. I mean, I was gone for months at a time.
Really?
And I never stopped getting nervous before I played, which is so weird. Like, just you think like over time you'd stop getting nervous. I didn't. I always was nervous.
Did you dread it?
I dreaded it. It was my least favorite part about what I did.
Did you like it once you were on stage?
I mean, once I got a few songs in, it was cool, but it never felt like a natural spot for me. And so now it's just funny. Like now I have people be like, you don't miss being an artist? I'm like, hell no. God, that was no way. I'd much rather see my songs being sung in front of 10,000 people than be the guy.
Totally. But I feel like we were talking a little bit before. Sometimes you don't know exactly what you are totally called to do. You just sort of start going towards a direction.
Yeah.
And like with Nashville, there's so many, like you were saying earlier, there's so many different roads in this entertainment industry. But it's sort of hard to figure them out until you're just in it.
Well, and part of it's too, like you start going, man, I don't think I can get somebody excited about me as a writer. You don't have the confidence in that yet. So you're like, I know I can get them excited about me as an artist. Mm-hmm. So let's do that. And then let's just see what happens off of that, Yeah. And it's just, I think sometimes you just have to go with what you think you can break in with. And then
totally.
But people like Scott and Liz, so
and those are your publishers.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Scott and Liz Ponce and Liz Rose, who wrote Girl Crush, is Corey's publisher.
Yeah, so Liz became a good friend of mine because I started working with Jamie Lynn Spears.
Oh yeah.
Right at the end of my Universal publishing deal.
Okay.
And Liz and I became good buddies, and I'll never forget. I was like shopping around to publishers, like taking meetings, and I hadn't really talked to Liz. And I don't know why. I just didn't want to I didn't want to put her in an awkward position to say no.
Yeah.
Because we were buddies and writing. And so we were in the studio with Jamie Lynn cutting, and she goes, I'll never forget, she goes, hey, I'm mad at you, by the way. And I was like, for what? She was like, because you are looking for a publishing deal and you haven't talked to me. I was like, that's bullcrap. I was like, you knew I needed a publishing deal. You could have talked to me. And she was like, well, I want your publishing. I want to work with you. So I came and met with Scott, and Natalie was here at the time. Natalie Pasley.
She's married to Eric Pasley.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I met them for beers, and it was awesome. And we started just kind of dating, so to speak.
Yep.
And here I am. This
then
is
y'all
awesome.
got married.
We got married.
How's the marriage been?
We've had plenty of song babies together.
Which, by the way, we're kind of jumping everywhere. Corey's about to have his second number one.
Woo!
His first number one was Chris Young, I'm Coming Over. What? That was a 3-week number one?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's stupid.
That's crazy.
And now you're having your second number one with Chris
Think of You.
Young and Cassadee Pope. It's a duet.
Yep.
Think of You. They played it on the ACMs, which was amazing.
Yeah, that was cool.
So does that just freak you out with excitement when you hear it and like when you saw it on the ACMs?
That was really cool. I mean, first of all, to see it played was really cool, and see it in person. But we had 2 nominations. So
what were the nominations?
I went from 2 years before sitting in like the cheap seats to being on the nominee floor and like walking the red carpet with Chris. It was really it seemed to me like it happened really fast,
Yeah.
Like I know to maybe people here I've been a while.
Because you've been here how many years now?
6 this time.
Yeah.
And I've been around, and I know maybe it didn't seem that fast to other people, but God, it felt fast to me,
Yeah.
Just me and Lainey were walking the carpet, and she was like whispering in my ear. She was like, this is weird. And I was like, yeah, this is really weird. It's like, but don't act like it's weird. Just act like it's really normal. At least I saw Hobby. I saw Michael like ahead of me, and I was just like, all right, I feel comfortable.
Like, I know it.
I see Michael up there. This isn't that bizarre. And I was with Chris, so Chris is one of my best friends too. So it was like, this is
easy. Weird getting thrown into those situations because you belong there, but like it's also like, holy shit, there's Jason Aldean and there's like, Keith Urban. But it's weird because like your community is now becoming those people.
Yeah.
And because you're kind of right, you kind of rise up as classes, I feel like, in a way.
Totally.
And now it's like, that's your people now. They need you just as much as you need them, and everyone works together.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
To be in that group?
It is when you think about it, but it doesn't feel very weird. You know, I mean, because these are all buddies. Mm-hmm. It is weird. It's weird. I'll tell you, it was cool for me. My mom and my stepdad came out to Vegas, and this is the first time they've ever been kind of thrown into this world.
Yeah.
Where they get to like see celebrities and stuff. And, you know, we were just like, we'd run into like Cole Swindell, who's a buddy from Georgia, you know, and like we'd shake hands, and I was like, oh dude, this is my mom and my stepdad Rick, and like they'd walk away and be like, that was Cole Swindell, and I was like, oh yeah, that was Cole Swindell. Like,
yeah.
It just didn't like
click
hit me,
because to you it's just another human that you work with that you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we know what, even though it looks like this to the world,
so
we know what it looks like behind
dazzling.
the scenes. It's not very flashy behind the scenes.
It's really not.
No.
Tell me what behind the scenes look like to you.
It looks like this.
Which is a beautiful studio on a
thank
beautiful
you.
day. Great
Thank
Mac
you.
computer. You got all your
This is Corey's MacBook on here.
bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, everyone, in case you didn't know, Corey Crowder is the man responsible for my theme song.
Caroline. Yeah.
I know. I felt very honored you did that because you're very busy. So to write my theme song was very nice.
If I haven't told you, this is where I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So we're in Vegas.
Yeah.
And Caroline is over hanging out. I don't even remember this.
Like me, Caroline?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just speaking about you.
In third person.
Yeah.
Like Garth, you know.
That's not weird, is it?
No.
Okay. we were talking. I think me and Michael were playing blackjack or something. Mm-hmm. And you were talking to Lainey, and you were like, I think you should name your baby, because we're having a baby girl in a month. Are you gonna name
her Caroline?
You were like, I think you should name her Caroline. It's a strong name. I've never hated my name. It was so hilarious.
I love my name.
I know. So the next morning, me and Lainey are having breakfast, and we're like, I was like, how awesome is Caroline? I was like, she is so funny. She was like, I love her. And Michael.
By the way, Lainey is Corey's wife, and she is one of the coolest chicks in this town. They're about to pop out their new baby.
I agree.
She's just a badass.
She is.
And beautiful, inside and out.
Yeah, I way outpunted my coverage with her.
You guys are a great couple. Y'all are a power couple.
You. Well, we were like, man, Caroline is a cool name. And then our waitress walks up, and she's this like kind of exotic looking lady. Like she's like, I don't know, maybe Filipino or something. I don't know. But she says, and her name tag says Carolina.
I love Carolina.
And I was like, Lainey.
Are y'all going to name her Carolina?
That's the name.
Carolina?
Carolina Joy. So it was totally inspired.
I love
It was
Carolina.
inspired by our conversation.
Carolina Joy.
And then we started
Get
thinking.
out the house.
We started thinking. Me and Lainey got married, and we lived in South Carolina for 4 years. So we started a life together.
I'm so jealous of this name.
And so I was like, Carolina Crowder sounds like a strong name.
Sounds like she's going to be a badass. Like, what is she going to do? Something amazing.
I know. And it doesn't sound like a stripper name, so that was what I was worried about.
It sounds beautiful.
Yeah,
Carolina?
Yeah.
I want to cry.
And so this is a cool story, too. So my mom's middle name is Joy, which is one reason we were doing it.
Well, and people live up to their names.
Totally.
So if you give her the name Joy, she's going to be joyful.
I know, and this is you're just gonna give you chills. So we decide on Carolina Joy. Lainey has a aunt that she was adopted, and she really didn't have any family. Like her only family was Lainey's parents, and like she's always around, super nice. Joy Harris. She was like the coolest. I mean, I just considered her an aunt, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and so we told her, we were like, hey, you know, one of the reasons too we liked Joy was because we were like, oh, Joy Harris, duh, like how cool is that? Mm-hmm. So we told her, and she flipped out. She was like, because I mean, it made her feel like part of the family.
Yeah.
Well, like 2 weeks ago, she died of a heart attack, like in the middle of Academy Sports, and I was like, this is unbelievable, like. And we're about to have a little girl. Her name's Joy, you know, like Carolina Joy.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, wow.
But how amazing that you told her
I
that.
know, and she was so happy, like just bragging about it at the beach. And I was like, man, what a cool, I mean, terrible.
Right.
Devastating, very hard for the family. But what a cool thing for her to have known about.
Yes.
So, Carolina Joy, it's a super meaningful name. And
okay,
you were part of it. Come on.
First off, Carolina. I've thought about the name Carolina before because it's so beautiful. Like in Carolina, north of South Carolina, there's some of the best cities in those states. Like you said, y'all have a connection to it.
Yeah.
And it's original.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Caroline has been the best name. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Yeah.
I really sold myself.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. People might call her Caroline. I mean, it
Yeah.
might just be easier to say than Carolina, but.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
Isn't that cool?
I'm so happy it could be a small part of your
You
story.
were. Lady was like, you should tell her that. She told her that this morning. I was like, I don't think she knows. I know Michael knows, but.
That's so awesome. Of course, Michael forgot
his
to tell me.
publishing company's like.
Carolina June.
Yeah. So he was like, dude, I love that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah, me too.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
I just deterred our conversation.
it's okay.
big time.
There's no real path here. It's like the bumpy, long road, like you said.
Yeah, bumpy
That's
long road.
Same thing with this interview. We can go wherever we want.
I think me and Michael have the same ADD as well.
Yeah, for sure. Michael, oh yeah. You guys, I love watching y'all together. He gets so excited when he sees you.
Oh, I told Lainey my favorite part about people like him is I can turn off the Nashville thing. Mm-hmm. Not that you turn on a Nashville thing.
What is the Nashville thing?
This like need to like be guarded or to like, it sounds so dumb, but like when I'm around Hobby, there's no like, we're not talking about music. And if we are, it's not stressful.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah. We're just hanging. Like it is just, we can just be. Like I don't feel like there's any agenda ever. It's just hanging. Which
y'all created the American Hang because of that reason.
Yeah.
Which tell me about that.
That is exactly what you're talking about with the class though. Mm-hmm. So me and Michael actually had the idea. He was like, dude, what if we every Monday just got some beer and just wrote a song or didn't but just tried, hung out.
Just put yourself in the space to do it.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, that's a great idea. I'm in. And neither one of us had shit going on. Like nothing.
Like no number one songs.
No, like they had lost their record deal, I think, from what? Interscope. So they were here like trying to get a deal, just like touring, trying to write.
Yeah.
But like
just trying to get something going.
Yeah. And I had just lost my deal and I was trying to figure my life out.
Aren't those moments like before you get to the next moment of greatness? Aren't those moments kind of like, do you ever feel like, is anything ever going to
Yes.
happen?
I mean, we did. This is our conversations every time we hung out. We were like, I mean, we could write the best song ever and it wouldn't matter. Like,
'cause nobody cares right now.
But so he was like, who do you think we should get? And I was like, we should get Neil Mason.
Oh, yeah.
From Cadillac 3, who they didn't have anything going on either. They were actually called Cadillac Black, I think, at the time.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, that's, yep.
And then Cale Dodds is one of my best friends, like, for my whole life. Like, I've known him since he was a kid.
Oh, I didn't know y'all went that far back.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, dude, we got to get Cale. And I was like, well, there's our foursome.
Yeah.
So every Monday night, we would write, demo, and drink while we're writing. And then we'd go to ML Rose and play hoop shoot and drink beer. And, I mean, it was just a ritual. And we ended up writing, like, a bunch of the Thousand Horses stuff. Like,
Drunk Dial.
Unintentionally. Like,
Drunk Dial Southernality.
Yep. And we jokingly, because Neil's band used to be called American Bang, Cale was like, we should call it American Hang. Neil was very against this, by the way. At first, he was like, no, that's lame. We can't do that. But then it became such a joke. We kept calling it that.
And you couldn't think of a better name.
It just became the Hang, the American Hang.
Can't deny what's meant to be.
I know.
You know?
But what's cool about it is Thousand Horses, obviously killing it. They had a number 1 with Smoke, a top 20 with Drunk Dial. They're killing it. They're on the road with Aldine. Cadillac 3 had singles out there on the road with Florida Georgia Line.
Yep.
Kale's about to get a record deal. I'm writing and producing.
On your second number 1 hit. It's
crazy. And none of us had shit going on like 4 years ago.
Can you believe that?
It's so cool.
Doesn't it feel like magic?
It does. It makes our times when we get together now just like we all just kind of look at each other and we're like, all right, let's cheers. This is badass.
Which, by the way, y'all just wrote an amazing song. This Willie, whatever it was called.
Oh God, the new Horses that did jam. Yeah,
it's so freaking good.
So good.
And I think that the American Hang is awesome because, like you said, y'all can just relax. You can get crazy and get weird. And just like, you don't have to be like, like so worried about the Nashville thing.
Yeah.
Like we're impressing anyone.
I like riding with those guys because we refuse to do anything normal. We're like, let's just be weird.
Yeah.
It's fun. Mm-hmm. It's like a soul filler day.
You can push yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just no boundaries. We're just like, let's just get weird and write something fun.
I love it. Who else do you love writing with?
I am really digging writing with Randy Montana right now.
Oh, he's awesome. And he had his own record deal. And did he have a hit song on the radio at one point? He wrote Suds in the Bucket.
Yeah,
you haven't studied his catalog?
Unfortunately, don't know. But all I know is that he's badass, and we are writing great songs. We just got a John Party cut together.
Oh, great.
One of my favorite songs I wrote last year, John Party cut, which that never happens. Usually you write a song with an artist or the producer or somebody associated, but it's really hard, I found, to get an outside song cut.
Yes, when an artist is not writing on the song.
It's just hard.
Yeah.
And
truly.
We wrote this song with Jeremy Stover, and it's one of my favorites. And
what's it called?
It's called Turn You Down, or Can't Turn You Down. I can't remember what they ended up going with for the title, but I don't care. They could call it anything.
Just cut it.
But it's just a cool, vibey song. Randy can sing anything, and I like it. But I like him. I'm really digging right with Matt Jenkins right now.
Oh, yeah. And he wrote Cop Car.
Yeah, he wrote Where It's At.
Oh, for Dustin Lynch.
Mm-hmm. He just wrote Confession, the Florida Georgia Line #1.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, he's badass. And I always love Carrie Barlow.
Oh, yeah.
Carrie Barlow's, other than the Hang guys, those guys are the days that I like. I refuse to do anything normal with those guys,
That's awesome.
It's like, today we're going to write something great, or we're not going to write at all.
I love that.
I refuse to let this write go to waste.
Oh, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
Who are your favorite artists to work with?
Well, right now, as far as you mean production or writing?
Either.
Well, obviously Chris
Young
has been one of my favorite of all time. Just for obvious reasons, and we're good buddies, and we write good stuff.
And also you produce Chris Young. I don't know if I said that.
I do. Me and him actually co-produced his record.
That's awesome.
Which is fun because I love having Chris's studio brain associated with it too, because he's really great in the studio as far as he has tons of good ideas. He has a really good understanding of where it's gonna end up. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to see that vision.
Yeah.
But I love, I'm working on a new artist, Seth Innish, right now at Sony. He is awesome. He's the first one that I've been a part of from conception of him. I found him, brought him to Scott. We signed him some publishing deal. We got him a record deal, and then now I'm working on his record. It's
How cool is that?
It was really fun.
This is like your baby.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I just cut some sides on Cassadee Pope. Love her. She's awesome.
She's so good.
She is amazing.
Her voice is great. And she's just cool.
She is the coolest.
Yeah.
The coolest. She's if I were a girl, I would want to be like Cassadee. She's you know what I mean? She's
What's she like?
She has a tattoo sleeve. She's a beautiful girl, but she's also a super cool hang.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. She's an unbelievable singer.
Yeah.
But she's just great energy, great vibes to be around. Cale Dodds, I just produced his stuff. I love working with one of my best buds.
Yep.
I did Jamie Lynn Spears.
Oh, did you ever meet Brittany?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was Brittany like? And I love Jamie Lynn.
She's super sweet.
She was so cool.
Gorgeous.
She is
gorgeous.
Everything.
Kind of one of those people though, because you've only seen them on TV.
Yes, they don't feel real.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking to her, and I know she's a real person, but for some reason she just doesn't seem like
you can't
human.
believe it.
Yeah.
I know. There's only a few people in that category for me, and they're kind of mainly pop stars, because country is so tangible for us. We're so involved in this community, but Katy Perry and Britney Spears and Jennifer Lopez.
I was like that when I met me and Laney were in Vegas. I was out riding with Rascal Flatts, and they got asked by Steven Tyler to come watch one of his shows.
Okay.
And so afterwards, we got the suite. Now I thought it was cool, just that was cool for me, just to watch him play from a suite in Vegas. And then Joe Don was like, "Hey, you want to go down to his green room and kick it with him?" And I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And
I guess I'm free.
Seeing him in person was kind of what the heck?
What was that like?
He's awesome.
And he's around Nashville now a lot.
Yeah, and I know a lot of my friends have ridden with him and know him, but that doesn't make it any less crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like that around Dave Grohl too. I'm a big Dave Grohl fan. So
yeah.
I think I would geek out over Dave Grohl.
Oh yeah, okay. So who would you geek out over? Dave Grohl?
Dave Grohl for sure. You're gonna laugh, but Ellie Goulding.
You love her?
And it has nothing to do with her looks. It is strictly, you know that song?
Michael loves that song too.
No, you know, Why I Got You on My Mind.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? So Walker, my little boy, thinks that it says, Why I Got You on My Mommy. And so, which is kind of kinky, but we just like let him embrace it, and he sings it. And so it's really funny. Every morning, like this morning, just a minute ago, he said, "Can we have a dance party in my Jeep?"
Stop.
So we we probably look so goofy. Me and this 3-year-old in the back, we're like, "Why I got you on my mommy?" I would geek out over her though. I don't know why. She's
awesome.
She's so good.
So what'd you talk to Brittany about?
We were filming something.
Okay. Is it a secret?
I'm going to be politically...
Is it recent?
Yeah. We were filming something for Jamie Lynn, and she was in it.
Okay.
That's all. I think that's all I can probably say.
Cool.
But we were filming something, and she was there. And she was at Jamie Lynn's wedding, too, so I got to meet her there.
Okay.
But we were actually, like, in close quarters like this for the shoot.
Like, she breathed on you?
Yeah.
How'd her breath smell?
It's amazing.
Yeah, okay. And Jamie Lynn's amazing too. She's her own talent. Like,
Jamie
and that's
Lynn
a big
is cool as crap.
And that's a big shadow to live under for Jamie Lynn, you know? And she's like totally emerged as her own.
She does her own thing.
She does.
At least I don't pick up on it. I don't think there's any weirdness.
I don't either.
I think she just does her.
I feel like she does too, and she's just chill.
We just cut some new stuff on her, and it is bad to the bone.
And her voice is great.
Oh yeah, and it's developed like into this like cool thing where she has super confidence in it now, and like it's just tone, and it's just a very unique, its own thing. It's really cool. Her live show's gotten so good, and like, I mean, she just kind of like over the years grew up and created this thing, and I think people are gonna dig this new stuff.
I can't wait to hear it.
Her and Liz and Heather Morgan and Emily Shackleton, they all went to the beach.
Oh.
Like Tina Parole and all these girls. I'm missing people, but they all went to the beach and they wrote.
Did they not invite you?
I didn't want to go. There's too many girls.
Corey, you can't handle all those females. You can handle females.
I can't. So I got one at home. That's enough. So they wrote these awesome songs, and they came back, and I'm really excited for people to hear it. I love being a part of her stuff.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, it's cool. I'm lucky. I'm getting to produce a lot of cool stuff and write on stuff. And I'm having fun. That's my one rule in production. If I'm not having fun, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's why production world's fun for me. Is if I can have fun with it and like be excited about it, then I want to do it.
Yeah.
But if it's stressful and it's just a job, I don't.
Then what's the point?
Yeah, I'd rather just not produce. Start over?
No. Go ahead.
So, yeah, that's the thing.
Where do you get your inspiration for producing? Like, how do you, because, okay, I don't know if regular people who aren't in the music industry know this, but like building tracks and all the behind the scenes production, like it's very complex.
Yeah.
How do you figure out where you want to go and where you're inspired?
You know, I really don't. I just like every day pray that like I don't run out of that.
Pray for inspiration?
Yeah. Like
that's what Bob DiPiero does too.
I mean, I'm serious. It's like I really have no reason why it's there. Like why I'm able to hear a song and know where I want it to go and be confident in it, or wake up with a new idea to write, or wake up with a new groove or melody to do. I have no idea why that's there. And I just am like staying thankful for it and just like, please don't let it run out. And I guess if it ran out, I'd just take a trip for a little bit and just try to get it back.
Yeah.
But I think part of that is just surrounding myself with really talented people to stay fed and inspired. Because I think that's what's cool about co-writing and working with different people is they inspire you in different ways. And
yeah.
I mean, when I write with Randy, I write a certain kind of song. Like
what kind?
I don't know. It's just like we're in a band for the day. You know what I mean?
Okay. So y'all are like in the same wavelength.
Yeah, and the same thing with Michael. It's like me and Michael write songs that we write. Like, you know what I mean? Like
you couldn't write that with someone else.
No, like we're like in a band for the day. Like,
yeah.
It's like, and that's what we get. What comes out of those writes sounds like me and him.
So it's almost like putting it in a different way, like how you have friends, like your relationship, like with your wife, or your relationship with a friend. It's different in each friendship. So like a write with a different person, it's different in each write.
Yeah, right? It is. I love that. I mean, there's some people that, they always write songs that sound like them. But I kind of like hopping on different trains, every day.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps me interested. So, one day we might write a super pop song, and one day it might be super country. It might be super rock one day. I love that. That's fun.
Yeah. Is it stressful thinking about having to get cuts, or do you just let that go? Tell people what it's like being a professional songwriter. Like you said, not an artist, just needing other artists to cut your songs. What does that feel like?
Man, it's hard to describe. It's a scary, unknown feeling. And there's so many factors that play into it. Like,
such as?
Who you're friends with. And that, I don't mean that as like something shady goes on. I just mean like, just by nature of business, like people like doing business with people they're friends with. So it's like, if I'm not friends with, just pick an artist, Tim McGraw, if he's not a good buddy of mine and none of his camp is good buddies of mine,
you're not on their radar.
It's just harder to get a song in that camp than it would be if those were my good pals.
Right.
And I'm just using that as an example.
Totally.
That's definitely not a true statement about that, but it's like,
yeah,
it just, so that just means, and so, you kind of have to embrace that a little bit and just be like, and not get your feelings hurt. And just try to write the best song you can every day. But also, I will say there is another element of like being smart about it and being like, hey, look, I know Luke Bryan's making a record coming up, and it wouldn't hurt for me to like get in that headspace for a few weeks and like just really like try to listen to what his records and like what his language is, to know like, and just shoot for it. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, everybody has different approaches. I enjoy that, like trying to get my brain into what would he want to say and how would he want to say it and what's cool and all that mixed into like what you do naturally,
So it's a lot. It's head games.
It is. And I think the biggest thing I've learned is embracing that like I'm not going to be the best writer for every record.
Right.
So I might not be the dude that ever gets a Carrie Underwood cut, and I'm okay with that. I would love a Carrie Underwood cut.
Yeah.
But like maybe I'm not the best writer for Carrie Underwood's record, There's probably much better writers in town that write that stuff. But maybe I am the best writer for Chris Young record, like
true.
And I think just kind of embracing that like, hey, look, you can't be badass at every genre and style and
well, there's so many different flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think just like that's been really big for me in the last year, just kind of embracing like, okay, I'm me and this is what I'm good at. I'm just going to do me and whatever that produces will be good.
Truly. Yeah.
And you write it out as long as you can. I can't remember who told me this. They said if you have one run in this town, I think it was Mark D. Sanders. Maybe I might be wrong, but he said if you have one run as a songwriter in this town, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
If you have two runs in this town,
what does a run mean?
You're a legend. And I was like, oh damn. And it's true because like a run meaning like you have a streak of cuts and singles and hits and like a real run.
Like you're on your run right now.
God, I hope it keeps going. But like if you're lucky enough to have one that lasts a long time, you're like, it's super fortunate. But if you can like stick around, like Liz has, like stick around for like multiple decades and like still get cuts and still have singles, like.
And by the way, Liz Rose wrote like all of Taylor Swift's first album.
Like songs about rain for Gary Allen, which is an unbelievable song.
I love that song.
Crazy Girl, Lee Bryce.
Yeah.
She wrote Girl Crush.
Yeah.
She has like a bunch of cuts coming out. I think I don't want to speak too soon on cuts she has, but she's like
killing it. She's a freak of nature.
Yeah, I learn every time I write with Liz. I learn.
What do you learn?
She's not afraid. She's like the most fearless writer I've ever written
She'll just spit out stuff.
Yeah, she
didn't care.
She's not worried about you thinking she sounds stupid.
And that is, she dares to suck every day and could care less.
I love it. It's the best, and you get such good songs that way.
Because then, like, all of a sudden, it'll trigger something in your mind that you wouldn't have thought about.
Yeah. Stream of consciousness.
She spits it out.
I love it. It makes writes with her so fun. And they tend to go fast because of that, because there's not a lot of, like, silent sitting and...
So she has a great stream of consciousness.
She does.
That's another thing. Like, she has a lot of thoughts happening.
Yeah. I mean, her like, songwriting form, like, that would be what we're talking about. is really great, but also just she has a lot of talent too. I mean, that form, it doesn't happen well. I mean, you can spit out a bunch of bullcrap, but she actually has great stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot from her.
So just to be more fearless.
Yeah.
You seem fearless.
I mean, I'm getting way more fearless day by day with.
Do you think as you get older, you just kind of get more, like you were saying, just like, this is me, this is what I do, like, you know what you're good at now, so like you can just feel more
that is it. Maybe it is age
to be yourself.
Maybe it is age too, just a little bit of maturity. I don't know. I think it's probably a mixture of that, and once you feel what it's like to get a cut or like have a single, it's like the confidence level goes up.
Yeah.
Like, I think before I just kind of felt like, man, I could write the best song that's ever happened and it wouldn't matter. And so, like, that thought keeps you from writing good stuff.
Because we build our own, like, walls.
Yeah.
And, like, ceilings.
It's like, what is it called? Like, it's a
fulfilling prophecy.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. It's almost like.
I interviewed Tim Shaw. He's a Titans football player, former, and he said the same thing. We all decide where we're like the highest we can go, and we put limits on ourselves.
Yeah, and it's like once you realize, like, oh my God, like I can write songs and they can be singles and they can be number one songs, and
you can be that. I
can produce records that are hit records, and like you start believing this about yourself, and then it just starts happening, and so it's like. It's kind of an amazing. There's probably a deeper lesson to be learned in life about that, but
I think manifesting, vision, do you visualize?
Yeah, I mean,
how do you visualize?
I mean, I'm not intentional about it. I think that's just my personality in general.
So what does that look like in your head?
Like I always tell Laney, the action's the best action.
Yeah. Okay.
And she always hates when I say that because she's like a thinker and planner, and I'm like, no, just act.
Yeah.
And like. Let God change your mind. If for some reason you're going on the wrong course, He'll fix it. It'll course correct.
That's so true.
Just act. Don't wait. Just act. And that's kind of how I do even in this setting. It's just like, just go. I'm just going to start building.
Do you get like an urge or something? Or how do you know what to act?
I just go on gut.
Your gut.
I've never gone on gut and regretted it.
I totally agree. And I think that's God talking to us, right?
Yeah. I think that's your intuition and your... discernment, in life is just, I think we're all probably given that to a degree, and we just have to learn to trust it.
Don't you think people are scared to trust it?
Yes.
Like you have to choose to trust your gut and your intuition.
And I think at this point, I've heard the word no so many times that I'm kind of just like, it doesn't mean anything to me. So it's like, or like that sucks, you know? So it's just like, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. I've hit plenty of walls in life to now know, like, it's not, life's too short. It's YOLO, man. YOLO.
You got to.
Yeah.
When did you start trusting your intuition, though?
I've kind of always been that guy. I mean, I went to college. I didn't like it. I didn't like college, so I just didn't go to class. I just fished and rode jet skis and drank.
Did you stay in college?
And played shows. I stayed until the free college ran up from Georgia.
How do you get free college?
They have Hope Grant.
Oh, nice.
But like I knew immediately that I wanted to be a musician, so I just played shows and I stayed home and I wrote and I played in bands.
Didn't go to class?
Nope. I didn't tell my parents. They didn't
you
know.
Pass?
No. Hell no.
You didn't care that you failed out of college?
No, I didn't. But it was one of those things that like I didn't care. I knew. I just trusted. This is what I want to do.
That's serious trust.
And so I just started going on that path.
You're like, nope, didn't go to class.
I didn't. It was funny. I mean, we just rode around jet skis every day. And I mean, I went from time to time, but it was very rare. But it worked out. And I worked out.
I love it. You're just like, nope, not doing it. Michael didn't go to college either. I grew up thinking you had to go to college and get a degree, but like, that is true. Okay, I'm not saying. Some people need to go to college for their career and they feel called to be a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist or something.
Yeah.
But other people feel called to be a musician or something that doesn't involve college. And college is not necessary for everyone. And I did not know that. Like, you don't have to go to college.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel bad, like, encouraging people not to go to college.
But if you don't need it, then you shouldn't go.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that sometimes college is good to help you figure out who you are and what you want to do. So sometimes it's just good to go just by default.
Yeah.
And just learn, what you want to do. But I do think the whole like go to college and just get a degree to get one is kind of weird.
It is weird.
It's a weird society thing we do.
Yeah, because like, what if you don't even like your degree?
Yeah, I mean, like what? Like my brother is a good example of like he went and got an agriculture degree, and at the time, I remember us being like, "Why would you do that?" But it's so awesome that he did it because he knew he wanted to do that. He's a fireman, but he now runs a freaking farm,
and he loves it.
Loves it, and now that agriculture degree couldn't be more important. But
he knew.
He knew that that's where he really wanted to go in life. You
have to follow your love.
Yeah.
Like your love, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up because I know you have a lot to do because you're like almost having the
number
one song.
This is awesome. I love chatting. This is awesome.
Well, you're very interesting, Corey. I like to wrap up with Leave Your Light. So basically, leave some inspiration, something that's inspired you or that you live by or how you want to inspire people.
I would say if you can get up, there's a Bob Dylan quote that I'm going to butcher, but I'm just going to do the Corey Crowder version. Okay. If you can get up every day and love what you do, you're a success, and that's how you define success. And I think that if everybody in the world would just follow their passion and love and do what they love every day, that they would feel successful regardless of money and they'd be happier and that probably the world would be a better place. I mean, I had this conversation with a good friend yesterday that used to be my guitar player, and I'm trying to convince him to move here. And I just told him, I was like, dude, you can't, there's no dollar sign on happiness.
That's so true.
If God meant for you to be a guitar player or a musician, then that's what you're meant to do.
There's no stopping it.
And until you do it, you won't be happy. And you could probably live the rest of your life and make crazy money and be unhappy. Mm-hmm. And so I always just am like a big believer in like, do you and do what you're meant for at all costs. And
I totally agree.
I know that's cheesy and cliche, but
you have to be brave.
I just think it's so important. You only get one life. And like my grandma used to tell me, she always used to push this stuff too. And it's like, she ran a jewelry business. She loved jewelry. Mm-hmm. She ran it her whole life, and they never made much money. They were broke their whole life. Like I think when she died, they were just in massive debt. But it didn't matter. She was happy. She was like super pumped about life because she did what she loved. She loved talking to people and bullshitting with people every day and buying jewelry and making jewelry. And I just, so I've always just kind of lived by those rules.
I love
think
that.
That's the way to go.
Well, thank you, Corey Crowder.